2002, there was a huge atmospheric river that came from Hawaii. It was called the Pineapple Express in November. And it rained and rained and rained and rained in that canyon.
Discovery Channel gave us many hits in the last few decades, and Alaska: The Last Frontier was no less. The show aired 11 successful seasons, showing the Ewell family homestead in their 600-acre homestead in Homer, Alaska. A fan commented about the show that sometimes it is blood, sweat, and tears on Alaska: The Last Frontier. But life is simple. Life is good when you're living like you should. The show shared the journey of the multi-generations of the Ewell family and how they faced daily challenges and strived on a daily basis. The show did a great job at sharing the resilience of the family while also highlighting the daily struggles of homesteading, painting a realistic picture of how challenging it truly is. The show dived a little deeper into the dynamics of the Kilcher family, showing how they manage their relationships and traditions. It offered great insight on how one can hone the skills necessary to homestead in an environment as rugged as Alaska's wilderness. While the show received great praise, it also had critics going after how there were many on-screen challenges that the family had to go through in order to survive and get through the days. Otto was a significant character who was subject to controversy and gossip. Otto Kilcher, the sixth born of the Kilcher family. His tragic disappearance from the show turned some heads to controversy such as his death, which has so far not been confirmed. But it makes one wonder what really happened to him. Where did he go? And where is he now? Homesteading is no piece of cake, so accidents are normal even though they seem like a huge deal to the audience. One prominent accident was when Otto underwent a severe accident while working on his homestead. He was impacted by an oxen in heavy snowfall, which resulted in him getting severely injured. However, he continued his activities as usual, and the fans cheered for him as they followed along his journey. Reality TV never got as interesting as the all-time famous show Alaska: The Last Frontier. The show aired and enjoyed popularity for 11 good years, making it a favorite for all homestead and nature lovers. The show aired the life of the Kilcher family that was living on a 600-acre land, away from community outside of Homer, Alaska. Swiss-born American Otto was born in 1952 as the sixth child of Ewell and Ruth Kilcher. Ewell Otto's father had moved to America from Switzerland in 1936. Him and his wife Ruth Kilcher were prominent homesteaders who were a member of the Alaskan State Senate from 1963 for 1966. Ewell contributed greatly to the Alaskan state as he even helped write the state constitution. He later went on to serve in the legislature as well. He was the key personality in establishing a 660-acre homestead on the east of Honor at Kenchmak Bay. People praised Ewell Kilcher for his personality and admired his charismatic and intelligent demeanor. As his homestead became popular for a lot of notable personalities, one of his old family friends, Dixie Belcher, said about him that he impacted his life and the lives of everyone who met him by the force of his personality. Belcher further added that Ewell Kilcher had tremendous life force. He was a man known for his forceful disposition, as Belcher commented that they'd often end up arguing over matters where there was any difference of opinion. Ewell was a heavily opinionated man, to which Belcher further commented that he was a really outrageous character. A Renaissance man who knew many languages in which he could hold a conversation in. Wow, talk about knowledge. He spent a fulfilling childhood surrounded by nature and wilderness. Imagine growing up in a field full of resources to live a life that's resourceful and enriching in every way. Otto spent a good time doing chores around the woods, helping his parents' homestead. Farm work can be extremely taxing, and it was no different for Otto as well, as his first cattle drives were on foot, which can be difficult at first. He had to walk or run for miles alongside the few horses that were available. Apart from homesteading, Otto developed a keen interest in tinkering with everything mechanical. In the next few years, it became a hobby for him to fix everything broken on the homestead, becoming as self-sufficient as possible. Homesteading can be a tiring task, and it's definitely not for everybody. Otto, however, maintained a good life for himself and became quite self-sufficient. He had learned to maintain his own hearse of cows, which resulted in his family having healthy grass-fed beef. Otto's trademark as a collector was his ability to collect and recycle useful items. They say that one man's trash is another man's treasure, which is quite true in Otto's case. He developed the skill to make use of anything in his homesteading lifestyle, becoming an expert at doing everything possible on his own. People have loved Tay's show all across the globe. Not just the show, in fact, fans all across have fallen in love with the family as a whole. An Australian fan commented about the show, expressing her love, saying, "I love, love, love this family. Otto is just a crack-up, and Charlotte is just the sweetest person around. I am obsessed with this family and their way of homesteading. Love you guys all the way from Australia." Another fan who has had the history of living in Alaska himself went on to comment how he loved everything about the landscape. He said, "I love the landscape and the wildlife. Very down to earth, and I mean earthy. Group of folks that were so hospitable and loved the freshest food I have ever had. Everything from sea life to wildlife game, veggies, etc., fishing, hunting, farming, and co-oping." The fan went on to add how the atmosphere has had such a great impact on his life, and that he missed the strange yet unique climate of Alaska. The Alaskan state has 18 hours of daylight in the summer and 18 hours of darkness in the winter. That's quite unusual for a lot of people who do not come from places with such long days and nights. The Kilcher family did a great job at reviving the love of Alaska for many people, making the show beloved and admired. However, with fame comes some snooty comments as well. For people who did not take a liking to the show, they did not shy away from stating what was on their minds. Over the years, the show came under fire due to many controversies surrounding it. A disappointed viewer commented, "This show is so scripted it is ridiculous. The producers, cast, and crew must think the audience is a group of morons who believe anything. Maybe they are morons because the show is still on under reality show genre. I hadn't watched ATLF for several years due to the absurdity of it all and gave it another try last week. Got through about 10 minutes before I had to turn it off again." The show also came under fire for animal abuse cases. A fan commented on one of the instances from the show where they tied up a horse's legs. Just caught about a 2-minute glance of the show where they tied a horse's front legs together with a rope so the horse wouldn't run away when they shoot the gun. How cruel and dangerous. The horse could have suffered injury. This show should be removed from television. Asking a show to be removed from a watch list entirely is quite harsh, isn't it? Well, the viewer did not hesitate at all in this case and went starite into sharing what on his mind and how cruel he found the act to be. Another famous occurrence was regarding the shooting of a brown bear. Fans took to the internet to share their anger over a character who shot a brown bear during the show. They demanded that the guy who shot that brown bear should be kicked out of Alaska. The character basically took his cows into the bear's territory, but fans argued that how did he not expect bears to be present there? He went to the bear's home and territory and tried to take the bear's territory away and put his cows there. Strong disapproval was given against this act of animal abuse, and the viewers expressed how wrong it was on the character's part to pull off an act like that. The character's decision to provide the bears with an easy source of food and then kill the bear for pursuing his cows was criticized by a disappointed viewer on the internet. Those who supported him were upset because they believed that if he did not want the bears to kill his cows, he ought to have moved out of the territory that the bears inhabited. Another angry fan commented on another episode in which the grandfather used a bow to kill at least 3 bears, and probably more, in one day. Fans have had moments of disappointment after disappointment due to such recurring instances. While some people commented about the family's mode of filming, some solely focused on their relationships and family dynamics. A famous instance is of the Kilcher family father-daughter duo, Jewel and Otto Kilcher. Jewel expressed herself regarding the troubling relationship she had with her father, Atz. In fact, she wrote a book titled The Architecture of All Abundance, 7 Foundations to Prosperity. She went on to become a famous figure as she was a singer and songwriter. She had left the home at the age of 15 to live life on her terms and create her own legacy. In her book, she discussed how her difficult relationship with her father while growing up impacted her personality over the years. Her mother left her when was just 9 years old, making it difficult for the child to sustain on the homestead all by herself with a father with whom she did not get along with. However, she commented recently that she has a good relationship with her father now that she has grown up. Her childhood house was still one that was filled with toxicity. The past is the past, though, so what can we say? All's well that ends well. The show also came under fire for showcasing a harsher environment on camera as compared to the off-screen reality. A lot of people commented over the years that the Kilchers shared an overdramatic side of the picture, which was far from reality. An angry Alaskan resident commented that, "The reality of Alaska is that nobody lives like this, much less these people." Source: I live 5 miles from these people. In Homer. He went on to comment on the fakeness of the family as well, stating that Otto owns a machine shop, Otts is a wealthy musician. The show is just designed to make it look like they fight for survival when there's a paved road and a grocery store just a few miles away. These people are a laughingstock in my town, and nobody likes the way they misrepresent Alaska. He urged people to stop buying their show as reality TV and called it garbage. The comment ended on a harsh note saying that Alaskans hunt, fish, and do have it rough up there, but it's not a survival situation 24/7 like the Kilchers would have you believe. Wow, now that's really harsh. The episodes were made to look more dangerous and packed with dangers, while in reality it was not the case. This was due to the fact that the family was constantly surrounded by film crew, and they could be given medical attention if needed, by being rushed to the hospital immediately, in case of any accidents. While the latter was not the case for many reality TV shows, the Kilcher family had the privilege of being rushed to the hospital immediately, as to not put any member in danger. While many debated that this beat the purpose of reality TV, it would have been more unethical on Discovery's part to air a family freezing to death simply because they wanted to share the real picture. Otto Kilcher's career on the show was a fairly natural transition, because he had spent his entire life on the homestead and was familiar with the environment there. Because of his deeply rooted Alaskan heritage, he was able to become a central figure on the show without much difficulty. Otto was portrayed as a seasoned outdoorsman, familiar with his surroundings and knew his way around. Being a handy and skilled individual, he was an ideal character to follow throughout the show. He possessed many abilities, including the ability to herd cattle, fish, hunt, and fish. The way that Otto knew how to survive in the wilderness and make a living out of it was very similar to what our favorite Discovery wilderness hero Bear Grylls did in Man vs. Wild. On the show, he was portrayed as a significant figure who played a role in the transmission of valuable skills to his own children and grandchildren, thereby enabling them to acquire knowledge and ability to survive in the harsh environment of the icy state of Alaska. Comments on the stunts not being real or that they were staged, the show still did a great job at showing the struggles of homestead. Imagine working on a farm day in and out, struggling to hoe the land, plant the crops, raise and feed animals, and a lot more. The show was much more than the terrain in Alaska and the homesteading on a daily basis. It was all about family values and family ties, making it a great family show. Family is all about sticking together in severe environments and making it through the hard times and tough days. The Kilchers proved that on camera as well as off camera. The Kilcher family is a prime example of self-sufficiency and perseverance. Without the presence of any modern technology, the family perseveres through with the traditional skills of hunting and farming, etc. Otto was raised on the homestead, so all homesteading tips and tricks came naturally to him. He was an expert at his field and was quite a handyman for everyone else around. Otto's handy nature led him to start his own company, Otto Machine. His Hondu skills paired with his knowledge on fixing things up helped him develop the company to success. The business led him to develop a net worth of $5 million, making it a huge success. Though Otto was someone who was raised away from the comforts of rural life, he still made sure to grow his success and learn all the skills necessary for him to lead a successful business. A fan stated about the show, impressing his love for Otto, calling him the unintentional star. He further went on to add that he found Otto to be extremely intelligent and having an ironic, self-deprecating sense of humor. Fans have even said that the show would be merely good without him. This says a lot about how much people have adored him over the years, and how much they've wanted to keep him on the show. The question on everyone's minds is, why did Otto leave the show? The rumors have gotten so bad that people even ended up stating that he has passed away. His death has not been confirmed, making it a useless rumor. However, it does bring light to one key element of why Otto was such an important character on the show. The audience started to take a liking to how Otto was such a smart and resilient person on the show. He remained dedicated to homesteading, showing great love and admiration for it. He had an admirable personality, where he did not shy away from showing his love for gay, rugged lifestyle. Homesteading in Alaska is no easy task, but Otto retained his resilient personality and never backed out of a challenge. Otto, even at the age of 72, is busy with his homesteading, living it up. He posts updates on his social media which can be extremely entertaining and refreshing to look at. If you visit his Instagram, you can find him on there as Otto Kilcher and be purely entertained by his daily postings. He often posts photos of himself and his animals and prompts his Instagram followers to follow his videos on YouTube. A few weeks ago, he posted a video of skidding a cabin and thanking his team for helping him with it. Homesteading is a passion that has not failed this beloved character even at such a late age and has only made him better at it. In a digital world full of people commenting on fashionable outfits and makeovers, Otto keeps up with his tradition of homesteading and does not leave any stone unturned, even at an age where most people decide to retire and go idle. Now that's what we call resilience.